Over 2 billion robocalls are placed every month. Excuse me.
That your
Hello?
federal student loan forgiveness application is set.
Receiving an occasional robocall would be no big deal, but spam wouldn't be spam if it was only occasional. Again? Now who? Hello?
Chosen for a complimentary stay.
I personally receive 5 to 6 robocalls every day. And I'm not alone, as the #1 consumer complaint in the FCC is now telemarketing calls. It's getting ridiculous. You got to be kidding me.
Concerning
Hello?
your eligibility for lowering your interest rates to as little.
I decided to roll up my sleeves and try to get a better understanding of this growing problem. And more importantly, what could I and other consumers do to stop robocalls? I'm Scott Schober, and this is your 2-minute cybersecurity briefing. We are being assaulted with robocalls and telemarketing voicemails. Here's a few tips to help ease your suffering. Register your landline or your mobile phone number on the National Do Not Call Registry. There's no cost to register your phone number and will typically take about 1 month for the robocalls to subside. Calls for charities, debt collectors, and political groups will still be allowed to go through. If you continue to receive robocalls after registering, report this to the Federal Trade Commission. Never say yes if a robocaller asks you a question, because your entire conversation is being recorded. For example, if the robocaller asks you if you would not like to receive any more calls like this, hang up. If you answer yes, they may end up using your recorded response to initiate unauthorized charges on your credit card account. Another common trap you may have heard is when the caller asks if you can hear them. If you answer yes, your voice signature may be used for fraudulent purposes. If you do not recognize the number calling you, simply don't answer. Since robocalls play upon your expectations of known callers by spoofing your local phone exchanges, they do not typically block their caller ID. This actually works as an advantage because they will probably use a local number that you do not recognize, making them easier to spot. Another trend you may have noticed is the spontaneous voicemail spam without a ring. Some ignore these messages, assuming they were simply experiencing bad coverage during the call, but in fact, these are a new breed of targeted spam calls that go directly to your voicemail without ringing. Fortunately, consumer protection groups have successfully argued against telemarketers to include these calls in the National Do Not Call list as well. Of course, it goes without saying, never call back any of these mismarketing calls. Always listen to the voicemail or read the transcript if you're not sure who called. The cost to send millions of spam emails is very low, and success is dependent upon those foolish enough to click. This same corollary holds true for robocallers. Robocalls can number in the millions and are extremely cost effective, so as long as people keep answering these calls. In my research, I have found pricing at 1.3 cents per call for a package of 10,000 robocalls. There are numerous apps available that block robocalls with an out-of-service message. RoboKiller costs $1.99 a month and stops spam calls. This app works even when phone numbers are spoofed. Another popular app is No More Robo, which is also $1.99 per month and works similarly. When a robocaller gets a prospect that answers the phone, they often switch over to a live operator. If this drives you nuts, you can take revenge by wasting the telemarketer's time with your own robot. Jolly Roger Telephone Company utilizes their own robots to create endless dialogue to fool live telemarketers. Many customers also complain directly to their phone providers, who have responded by developing their own tools to combat robocalls. By analyzing calling patterns of their network, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile work with law enforcement to stop illegal robocallers. However, phone companies have a conflict of interest. Since they have paying customers, they do not want to lose on either side of the robocall. Our dependence on our smartphones cannot be overstated. Unsolicited calls are a violation and must be treated and fought just like any form of malware. I'm done. Stay safe.